Greetings, fellow captains, and welcome back to another episode of World of Warships with the Hivehound. Yes, we've got a bit of a quicker, earlier intro, but that's because I'm challenging myself. Too long didn't read for the patch notes, as well as covering Chris Thane's gameplay in the Alabama. So let's cover the important stuff about the patch notes and the things that people are actually gonna really want to hear about. Okay, so new ships coming this month. The Tier 7 USN Wichita, the heavy cruiser, is going to be our campaign ship. For those tryhards out there, there are extra missions that are extra hard, which will allow you to get it a week earlier than everyone else. So there is that. Project Red, White and Blue is coming to the Bureau, where each segment unlocks a permanent camouflage for one of the American cruisers, from the Pensacola to the Baltimore, and then from the Dallas to the Cleveland, then the Iowa, and the Tier 5 premium ship, the California, comes in that completely free as well. Some 4th of July bonuses, so for USN ships, you get some camos, 2 camos per tier per ship. Up to Tier 5. Tier 6 comes with 2 camos and a basic container, and then Tier 7 comes with 2 camos and 2 basic containers. The Warhammer 40,000 content is coming out, so there's 2 new commanders, 2 new ships. They're not reskins of the Nagato, as people originally thought. They are the Nagato, based off the Nagato, but they're going to have some differences like lower hit pools, faster firing rates, more maneuverability, things like that. So yeah, there's the quick brief rundown. Cross-platform voice chat is coming, so we can abuse people regardless of what platform they're on. Some balance changes, we'll just go over them really quickly. The Chapayev's armor has been nerfed from 30mm to 26mm, so you'll no longer be able to bow tank 15-inch guns. They will now overmatch you. The Amagi is having a buff to her gun accuracy. The dispersion eclipse has been reduced, so it should improve her hit rate by about 6.5%. Richelieu's guns are getting a buff, so they won't get knocked out as easy. At the moment, they're on par with the Jean Bart, but obviously the Jean Bart's got that reload booster, which gives it a bit of a buff. So that's going. So the Richelieu is going to have 50% more health. So hopefully you'll be able to sustain better fire for longer. We're going to skip the miscellaneous buffs and bug fixes. So we're getting the Tier 5 USS Monaghan, which is going to be a Tier 5 destroyer. At Tier 6, the USS Flint is going to be available for doubloons, and the Tier 6 cruiser, USS Atlanta, is going to be available for 500,000 global XP. So people who missed out on the campaign or didn't get it on Black Friday last year, now's your chance. Now's your option. Now you'll have the ability to get it. So, wow, I've done that really quick. That was under 3 minutes, which is great, because up until this point, although Chris has done a bit of damage, it's not a lot. I'm going to apologise for the lack of game sound. Chris was in a party with Shumbus, who's a frequent flyer on the stream, and also our good friend Scooter is also in the match, so they were chatting a lot. So when this clip was sent to me, at first I didn't want to use it because of the lack of sound, but in hindsight, it is a really good game, and it does show off the Alabama, even if Chris did just put a bunch of shells into the side of a mountain. But it does show off exactly what this ship is capable of, and I thought, you know what, it is worth taking the time to watch the replay. Obviously minus the sound, but we can look at how Chris plays the ship, what he does right, anything that he does wrong, and evaluate it. So as you can see, he's trying to pick on the Shan host that's hiding behind this island, but unfortunately he's just not quite showing enough of his ship at the moment. So Chris is bravely pushing forward. His teammate just hit the Scharnhorst really, really hard. I believe that is actually Scooter there in front in the other battleship. And he knows he's not really going to get a chance to shoot it, so he's scouting around to see where else he can put his guns to good use. But there is a second battleship hiding behind that mountain as well. So he's erring on the side of caution. Now, I say battleship, it's the Nuremburg, which is one-shot territory. But that Scharnhorst is reversing. They've capped the flag, but last thing you want to do is go and push out and try and assist the middle and then lose the cap because you've left two ships there. So there he is checking out the map, trying to plan his next move. And Nuremberg is coming in dangerously close into get fucked territory by creeping around that corner. And there we go, shots away, and a little bit anticlimactic, a broadside Nuremberg, but as you can see, Chris got several over penetrations, which is one of the disadvantages of using a battleship when you're firing at lightly armored cruisers, particularly ones that are down tiered like the Nuremberg. I'm not entirely sure what a Nuremberg is doing in a tier 7 match, but as luck would have it, that would mean he manages to actually get away with that. So salvo off at the Scharnhorst. There, get fucked. Goodbye, Scharnhorst. Some torpedoes coming in from the enemy destroyer, but nothing to worry about there, really. So Chris has, but looks at he wants to kill that Nuremberg. I know, I can feel it, I can smell it. I want to kill him too, but unless he comes up from behind that island, it's just not going to happen. So Chris does the smart thing. He keeps on looking back. He's hoping to see him, but he's like, start swinging my guns round to the front because, it's at this time that he wants to start focusing on the B cap and trying to assist the team there. They are down to just 3 ships, so this isn't going to be an easy fight by any means. There's a pretty much full health Colorado there in the middle, the other side of the island. Unfortunately, they even lost Schumbus in the destroyer, and Chris is currently sitting there on 1 kill and just under 50,000 damage. As you can see, Chris has switched to high explosive, probably because he was trying to kill that Nuremberg without getting the overpens, and he takes a torpedo, but it's okay. The Alabama has excellent torpedo reduction. Somebody will correct me below, but I think it's 58%. And you can buff that with commanders as well. The Nuremberg has popped out from behind the island eventually, and Chris fires a salvo of HE at the Vanguard. I personally would have switched to AP at this point, but I guess he's hoping to see that destroyer, and there we go. There's the switch to armor piercing. So the next salvo will not be so kind. And although the torpedoes came from the other way, there's now a smoke screen in front of the Vanguard. Where has that sneaky destroyer gone? So I think I still need to think of a title for this video. It's probably going to be the same as yesterday, where we discover it halfway through. And there we go, a nice citadel on the Vanguard from just the rear turret. And there it is. There's the temptation to turn and to try and finish off the Vanguard with the front 2 guns. He is getting peppered with some high explosive, and shots out. Hold these, Vanguard. Oof, that was unlucky. A couple of over penetrations again, but there's that rear turret already coming back in, and that should be good night. And manages to citadel the Vanguard again. Just to point out, the Vanguard, its citadel sits really low in the water, so it is actually a really hard ship to citadel. So as you can see, the Kutchers off there in the distance. He is a one-shot. All Chris needs to do is whiff a shot near him, and that Kutchers is going to go down, and that Nuremburg, who did start to cap C, has decided to run away from C. And there we go. Picks up another kill number 3. Quite an important kill at this point, because the being 2 battleships left alive, being constantly spammed by high explosive from Akatsuki is going to make things really difficult. No, it's not an enjoyable situation for any battleship to be in. And there we go. There is a full health Colorado. Now he's alright. He's not perfectly angled, but he's showing quite a bit of his broadside there. So a salvo off from range, decent damage, and has also reset the cap. Yes, this whole time the enemy team hasn't managed to cap B. So the points lead, even though they were ahead by a lot of ships, the points lead is not a lot. And this is when the stray Akatsuki somehow manages to make a mistake and get spotted. And Chris has the high explosive loaded because of the angled Colorado. So hopefully we'll get some juicy hits here. And nope. In all fairness, in Chris's defence, destroyers are quite hard to hit from a distance, but he does manage to catch it with one of the shells from the last salvo. And now it is just Chris. Unfortunately, our good friend Scooter succumbed to the torpedoes from the Akatsuki, and so Chris is going to try and focus down this Colorado, which makes good sense. He's not going to be able to shoot the Akatsuki because, well, he can't see them. So up to 117,000 damage and 3 kills, which is pretty respectable. I can't say he hasn't put the work in, but it is still a 1v3. So let's see how Chris does. So there's this Colorado, there's the Nuremburg, which we now know has decided to go back and try and cap C. And then there's that Akatsuki, which is over at A. So Chris is in a bit of a bad situation here. He's in a crossfire. He's got ships to his left, a ship to his right, and then he's smack bang in the middle of all of them. Now, the Akatsuki has just fired up its smoke screen. You can see it in the distance there. So Chris turns towards where the Akatsuki smoke screen is in anticipation for some torps. And is he going to take one of them? No, he doesn't even look. He's just like, yeah. I think he probably got to the point of, if they're going to hit, they're going to hit. If they don't, well, bonus. But that armor, that torpedo reduction is definitely helping him out so far in this battle. And there's another. That's an awfully wide spread of torpedoes considering how close that smokescreen is. And is it me, or is that Akatsuki firing armor piercing at a battleship? Now, I know the Akatsuki hasn't got the greatest guns in the world, but from that range, he's angled. You want to be aiming at the superstructure. You want to be firing HE. And Chris has wisely put his plane out because of the torpedo attacks, and has given himself that early warning. I mentioned this in a video another day, a day or two ago. It was in the Vladivostok game when Mitch used his plane, what I thought was a little bit too early. These are the situations where you really want to have your plane available, because that allows you to, as I mentioned, spot torpedoes earlier, which can be a massive advantage, specifically when you're in a battleship, and especially quite late in the game like this. Having that advanced early warning of the incoming torpedoes is definitely something that you want to have available to you. And like a complete pleb, the Akatsuki doesn't leave his smoke screen. He stays in there. Alright, fair enough, he has got his torpedoes ready to fire. He's only managed to get one salvo away, and it looks like Chris is going to only eat one of them. And now it is a 1v2 situation. We've got that very low health Nuremburg and Oof, the Colorado missed half of his shots there, and as you can see, the Colorado, that looks to me, well, I thought he was going to go for the ram. That is definitely what I would have done in that situation. Chris waits for his last gun to come around, and oof, it's always awkward. Close quarters combat is never fun. And is he going to make it? Is he going to make it? Kaboom, there we go. Kill number 5, Kraken Unleashed, and that wins the game. So very well played to Chris there. Unfortunately, he skipped out the end plates for us. But I hope you enjoyed the TLDR and the replay from Chris there. And until next time, take care.